Moscow Metro is known around the world as the most beautiful underground train system on the planet, and with good reason. Its incredible interiors brighten up the day of any commuter on their way to work, and it never fails to make an impression on tourists coming to this great city. In fact, when people come to visit Moscow, they often go home and tell their friends and family not about Red Square or beautiful architecture, but about the stations they use to get around the city. In this video, I'm going to take you on a tour of the 9 most grand, historical and beautiful stations on the entire network. Let's go. This is Komsomolskaya. Komsomolskaya on the Circle Line is by far the most famous station on the entire Moscow Metro network. Because of its location in the city, directly below 3 of Moscow's busiest train stations, it's not only incredibly beautiful, but it's also incredibly busy. Opened in 1952, it's a classic of late Stalinist style, with all of its excesses, rather than the cheaper, more functional designs of the 1930s. This station is themed around Russian history, inspired by a 1941 speech by Joseph Stalin. It has numerous mosaics on the roof, depicting different events, from Alexander Nevsky at the Battle on the Ice in 1242, through several other battles from the next 700 years of history, before finishing with 1945 and celebrations of defeating Nazi Germany. But of course, the fame of this metro station comes more from the bright yellow and the large, impressive chandeliers. This is Ploshchad Revolyutsii. This station, on the blue line of the Moscow Metro, is famous around the world for its 76 Soviet realist statues that line the platforms. Opened in 1938, it's named after Revolution Square, the part of Moscow right above the station, which was named in celebration of the 1918 October Revolution. The statues are supposed to depict Russia's transformation, starting with the soldier and ending with communist students, through aviators, labourers and athletes. One of the notable things about this station are the several sculptures that are widely believed to bring good luck to those who rub them. These include the roosters, the pistol and most famously, the dog. This is Taganskaya. Taganskaya on the Circle Line of the Metro is another of the flamboyant post-war Stalinist stations. This one is, of course, dedicated to the Red Army and is lined with reliefs depicting various different Soviet military men. For example, these include pilots, sailors and tank crews. In the main area, which has a chessboard-type floor, you can see the panels are blue, and interestingly, on the actual platforms, the panels are all in white, without the blue highlights. This is Mayakovskaya. Mayakovskaya is my personal favourite station. Opened in 1938, it is very unique on the Moscow Metro system, with this pre-war colonnade-style design, with the columns made from steel and marble. As a result of its striking design, it's a common spot for photo shoots and you often see it as a location in the media. One of the interesting things about this station is the 34 ceiling mosaics, which show everything from the Kremlin to people playing volleyball. This is Prospekt Mira. Prospekt Mira, opened in 1952, also has a Soviet theme. This one is all about the development of agriculture. The large pillars on each side are finished with white marble and decorated at the top with various leaves. On each of the pillars is a medallion relief, each depicting a different aspect in the development of agriculture in the Soviet Union. I also really like the simplicity of the roof here. Next to the trains, instead of more depictions of agriculture itself, it instead has the hammer and sickle. This is, of course, a communist symbol meant to represent the solidarity between industrial and agricultural workers. This is Novoslobodskaya. Novoslobodskaya is the next station along the Circle Line, and too has a rather unique style. This station utilises stained glass as a form of decoration. They are each set into the pylons of the station and illuminated from the inside to really give that stained glass window look. In fact, the station was actually designed around the panels, rather than panels designed to fit in the station, so they're really the focal point of the design. At the end of the station there's a mosaic entitled Peace Throughout the World by Russian painter Pavel Gordon.
This is Teatralnaya.
Built in 1938 as part of the first expansion program for the network, Teatralnaya is named after Theatre Square, which is home to numerous theatres, including the famed Bolshoi. Teatralnaya is not the most impressive station on first glance, until you look carefully at the roof. In the ceiling you can see a number of figures manufactured by Leningrad Porcelain Factory, designed to represent the culture of various nationalities of the Soviet Union. They show one woman and one man from each nationality performing either music or dance in their national costumes. The countries chosen include Armenia, Belarus, Georgia, Kazakhstan, Russia, Ukraine and Uzbekistan, with each figure repeated a few times, making 56 in total.
This is Kievskaya.
Kievskaya, a station on the dark blue line, is made out of white marble pylons, while the ceiling is decorated with a series of frescoes by various artists depicting life in Soviet Ukraine. These include miners, dancers, people working the fields, and people working on trains. At the end of the platform is a large mosaic commemorating the 1654 Pereyaslav Agreement, which was essentially a pledge of allegiance made by Ukrainian Cossacks to the Russian Tsar. It basically made Ukraine a vassal of Moscow. The station was opened in 1953, so 1 year later was the 300th anniversary. There were huge celebrations throughout the Soviet Union for what the Soviet leadership described then as Ukraine's reunification with Russia, and this mosaic was part of that. Since 2022, this moment has again become a part of debate and is a key element of the current historical myth-making in both Russia and Ukraine. The final station is actually another one in the same complex, but for a different line. This is Kievskaya on the light blue line, line number 4, which is another very unique station in Moscow. Built in 1937, this station has very impressive octagonal pillars that go all the way down the station, topped with Gazgan marble in the style of wheat. In keeping with the Ukrainian theme, the floor has Ukrainian patterns in red, white and grey granite.